everyone, welcome back to Radical Chemistry. On this channel, I post about chemistry lessons for JEE Mains, NEET, and MCET. If you are new to this channel, subscribe to watch latest videos. We know all the competitive exams have been postponed to September, so we have 2 more months for the preparation. So don't get demotivated and waste your time. Don't waste your time. Remember your goals. Work for it. I know when you're studying at the same place for several hours, it will be demotivating, but try to take some breaks while you're studying. And also speak to your family members every day because that will be very motivating. And also listen to some success stories every day that will inspire you to study. So, consistency is the key here. When you're preparing consistently, you will definitely get the good result. So, focus only on your target. All the best for your preparation. And today we are going to discuss electron displacement effects. Electron displacement means movement of electrons. Okay. Movement of electrons in molecule is called electron displacement. So this movement will be along the carbon chain. Okay. We can observe 4 types of electron displacements in organic molecules. One is inductive effect. First one is inductive effect, and the second is resonance or mesomeric effect. So here resonance and mesomeric are slightly different to each other, but there are many similarities between these two that in many books these two are given as the same concept. So we will discuss these two things together in one video. And the third one is electromeric effect. And the fourth is hyperconjugation. Okay. Now, out of these 4 types, electromeric effect is temporary effect. Temporary because this type of effect is shown by reactant molecules only when the reagent is attacking. You can observe this only when reagent is attacking. So only the electromeric effect is temporary. All the remaining effects are permanent effects. Inductive effect, resonance and hyperconjugation, all these 3 are permanent effects in the molecules. So in this video, I will be explaining about inductive effect in detail. What are the plus I and minus I effects and the groups involving in this, and how to determine the acidic strength of carboxylic acid and alcohols using inductive effect, and also the basicity of amines, and we'll also discuss about the stability of cations and anions. So what is an inductive effect? It is an electron displacement effect. So there will be movement of electrons. Movement of electrons in the molecule, in the carbon chain. You can see inductive effect in molecules having polarity. When there is a polarity, you can observe inductive effect. This is because when there is an electron donating group or an electron withdrawing group in a molecule, they induce the movement of electron. So electron donating group donates the electrons towards the carbon chain, and electron withdrawing group attracts the electron from the carbon chain. Okay. So the movement of electrons will be in single direction, and inductive effect can be observed only in saturated compounds. That means the movement of electrons will be only through sigma bonds. The movement of electrons will be only through sigma bonds. Okay, only through sigma bonds. So we'll take an example and see a carbon-carbon chain is attached to X group. For suppose X is a electron withdrawing group. That means it has a greater electron negativity, high electron negativity. So this is represented with delta negative. That means it is partial negative. So due to the partial negative character, this group attracts the electrons towards itself from this bond. So this is denoted as delta positive. And the carbon attached to this electropositive atom is also electropositive. That means this carbon also undergoes the inductive effect. The movement of electrons can be seen, but as you can see, I have denoted here with two arrows and here with a single arrow. So as the distance is increasing, the intensity of inductive effect decreases. As the distance increases, inductive effect decreases. So this carbon faces the greater effect than this carbon, but you can see this inductive effect up to 3 carbons. You can see the effect of X group until 3 carbons. Okay, and when you take electron donating group attached to carbon chain, suppose Y is an electron donating group. That means this is electropositive in nature. It gains delta positive. So this is partial positive now. Then obviously carbon will get partial negative charge. So the movement of electrons will be towards the carbon chain from electron donating group. Okay. The movement of electrons will be away from the group. On the basis of inductive effect, groups are classified into two types, minus I group and the plus I group. Minus I group shows negative inductive effect and they withdraw the electrons from the carbon chain, whereas the positive inductive effect is shown by positive I groups and they donate the electrons to carbon chain. And we'll see how the groups are classified into minus I and plus I, and we'll also see the order of their power. Okay, coming to minus I groups. So minus I groups are electron withdrawing groups. That means they are attracting electrons, they are moving electrons towards itself. Okay, that means they have to be electron negative in nature. And we'll see the groups under this category, minus I effect, and we'll write it in an order. First we'll see NF3. So NF3 positive. Now NF3 positive has the greatest minus I effect because here N is forming 4 bonds and has a positive charge over it. And above that, the 3 bonds out of 4 bonds are with fluorine atoms. So these 3 fluorine atoms are electron negative. Fluorine atom is the highest electron negative atom in a periodic table. So they withdraw the electron from nitrogen. Already nitrogen here is electron deficient, and when the fluorine is also withdrawing electrons, this nitrogen seeks for electron. So this nitrogen withdraws the electron from carbon chain it is attached to. So this group has the highest minus I effect. And then comes Nr3 plus, where N is attached to 3 alkyl groups. Then comes NH3 plus, and then NO2, CN, Cyno, SO3H, and then aldehyde group. So this order is very important. You need to know which group has greater minus I effect and which withdraws the electrons more easily. So I suggest you to take it on a paper, write it on a paper, or take a screenshot of this. Okay, after aldehyde you can see ketone, and then comes carboxylic acid. Okay, and then ester, and then amide, followed by halogens fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine, followed by iodine OH, and then OR. So there is a bond for every group, here, and then amine, and then acetylenic group. Okay, and then comes the phenyl group, and then vinyl group. So H over here is a reference. This is the reference between minus I and plus I groups. Now we'll see. So this minus I effect is used to determine. This is used to determine acidic strength. We are going to use this concept to determine the acidic strength of carboxylic acids and alcohols. Okay, before doing this, before learning this, we'll also look into plus I groups. So plus I groups are electron donating groups. They are electron donating groups. The movement of electrons is towards the carbon chain. Suppose this is an electron donating group. Movement of electrons will be towards the carbon chain. And the groups in plus inductive effect are as follows. We'll write it in order. So first comes NH with a negative charge. So N has a negative charge. It is readily, it wants to donate it to the carbon chain it is bonding to. So this has the greater positive inductive effect, and then comes O minus and COO minus, and then comes a alkyl group. So tertiary alkyl has the highest inductive effect compared to secondary alkyl, and then primary alkyl, and then comes the methyl group. And then H is the hydrogen is the reference here. Okay, we have learnt in the first video of GOC what is tertiary, secondary, and primary alkyl. Carbon is attached to 3 more carbons, that is tertiary. Carbon attached to 2 more carbons is called, and the carbon attached to 1 more carbon is called primary. And when you are comparing the positive inductive effect in the same category of alkyl groups, that is if you take primary alkyl groups, what is the criteria to determine the intensity of positive I, that is positive inductive effect. For example, we'll take ethyl molecule, ethyl group, then the propyl group, and then comes the butyl group. Here the carbon chain is increasing, but all the carbons attached to groups are primary in nature. All the carbons are primary here. So what is the condition? So what is the condition here to determine the intensity? So number of carbon determines the intensity of inductive effect. Greater the number of carbons, greater will be the inductive effect. Okay, here you have 2 carbons, here 3, 4. So this will have the greater inductive effect, and then comes this molecule, and then in the last ethyl molecule. Okay, and we are using this positive inductive effect to determine basicity of amines. We are using this for basicity of amines. We'll also discuss this with few examples. Now we'll do what is the acidic strength of carboxylic acid. So what is an acid first? The dissociation of molecule into anion and a proton. Anion plus proton is called acid. Okay, how do we determine the acidic strength now? Suppose we'll take carboxylic acid here. We are taking carboxylic acid. Now this has dissociated into respective anion and a proton. Now this is called conjugate base. Okay. The acidic strength is determined by understanding the stability of this conjugate base. Greater the stability of conjugate base, greater will be the acidic strength. We'll see the reason here. Every chemical change takes place to form a stable product. So if this is dissociating into conjugate base and a proton, this has to be stable. Suppose this has dissociated into anion. Okay. Acidic strength is directly proportional to conjugate base divided by substrate molecule. For suppose you are taking 10 molecules of carboxylic acid. 10 molecules of carboxylic acid. Okay. If this is a stable anion, the equilibrium of the reaction will be towards the right. That means more number of anions have formed. We'll think this is a stable anion and 8 molecules out of 10 have been formed conjugate base. So this is 8 and the molecules remaining are 2. Okay. So the acidic strength will be 4. If this is not a stable anion, this will convert it into substrate molecule. This will convert itself into substrate molecule by adding the proton. So the acidic strength is directly dependent on concentration of anion. So more number of anionic molecules are formed, greater will be the acidic strength. And also acidic strength is directly proportional to stability of anion. If the anion is stable, then only the concentration of this anion will be greater. If that is not stable, then it will turn into the substrate molecule and ultimately the concentration of anion decreases. So when the concentration of anion is more, the acidic strength is more and the stability of anion will be more. So we'll see how electron withdrawing group is stabilizing the acid. Okay, we'll take carboxylic acid here. If it is attached to electron withdrawing group, when this molecule is dissolved in water, this will dissociate into respective anion and proton. Okay, now this has gained a negative charge. Oxygen has gained a negative charge over it. To stabilize this negative charge, there has to be an electron withdrawing group because the movement of electrons will be towards the electron withdrawing group. Now the electron withdrawing group attracts the electrons towards itself, and this negative charge is traveling towards the electron withdrawing group. The movement is towards the electron withdrawing group. So the charge is stabilized over the chain here. the electron load is shared by the entire molecule here. So this is the stable anion formed. So therefore acidic strength will be high. Acidic strength will be high. Okay. So from that we can understand electron withdrawing group is directly proportional to acidic strength. Electron withdrawing group is nothing but negative inductive effect. Okay. So the presence of electron withdrawing group, negative inductive effect, increasing the acidic strength. And we'll see when an electron donating group is present. For suppose electron donating group is present in an acid, carboxylic acid. When this compound is dissolved, in water, it is dissociating into anion and a proton. Now this negative charge on oxygen atom is not stable, so the oxygen atom wants to share the electrons with the neighboring atoms. Now it has electron donating group in the molecule. This also donates the electrons. This plus I effect also is donating electrons towards the oxygen atom. Now oxygen itself has a negative charge which it wants to share it to other atoms. On above of this, electron donating group is giving the electrons towards oxygen. So this becomes highly unstable. Due to instability, this anion adds up the proton and turns into substrate molecule. So electron donating group is inversely proportional to acidic strength. Positive inductive effect is inversely proportional to acidic strength. We have seen how electron withdrawing group is increasing the acidic strength of an carboxylic acid. Yes. Now we'll see how electron donating group is affecting the acidic strength. How electron donating group is affecting acidic strength. Now when you take electron donating group is attached to carboxylic acid. Now electron donating group likes to donate the electron towards the carbon chain. Now electrons are moving towards the oxygen. So when electrons are moving towards the oxygen, oxygen will not like to dissociate with the protons. So when the dissociation is not there, then obviously acidic strength will be low or maybe zero. Low or zero. So when a electron donating group is attached to the carboxylic acid, it destabilizes the acid. Electron donating group destabilizes the acid. So electron donating group is inversely proportional to acidic strength. So we'll do one example here. CH2COOH and Cl2CHCOOH, Cl3CHCOOH. We'll take it as A, B and C. Now when you see one electron withdrawing group is attached to the carboxylic acid through electron donating group, but there is a electron withdrawing nature here. Though chlorine is not directly attached to carboxylic acid, but still it has a withdrawing nature. It withdraws the electrons from methyl group and the movement of electrons is towards the chlorine atom. So it is definitely acidic in nature. Now when you come to option B. Here you can see two chlorine atoms. Now there are two withdrawing groups which are attracting the electrons toward themselves. There are two chlorine atoms which are attracting electrons, and when you see option 3, there are three chlorine atoms. That means there are three withdrawing groups which are attracting the electrons towards themselves. So option C has the greater acidic strength than B, and then comes the A. So here acidic strength is determined by the number of electron withdrawing groups, that is minus I groups. Here number of minus I groups have determined the acidic strength. We'll do one more example over here. Carboxylic acid is attached to 4 carbon chain. Okay, this is option A, where the fluorine atom is attached to second carbon. This is first carbon, this is second carbon. And coming to the option B, only the position of fluorine atom is changing over here. Now the fluorine atom is attached to third carbon. And coming to the option C, fluorine atom is attached to fourth carbon. Option D has fluorine on fifth carbon, that is in our last carbon. Now when you see, all the compounds have same electron withdrawing group, and the number of electron withdrawing groups is also same. So number is also same. Now how do you determine the acidic strength? In the starting only we have learned, when the distance is increasing, the intensity of inductive effect is decreasing. So now here fluorine is next to the carboxylic acid. So fluorine is attached to the carbon atom which is next to carboxylic acid. And when you are coming to this option, so there are two carbons between fluorine and carboxylic acid. So here one carbon atom is present. Here one carbon atom is present between fluorine and carboxylic acid. Here you can see two carbon atoms between fluorine and carboxylic acid. And here you can see 1, 2, 3 carbon atoms are there between fluorine and carboxylic acid, where fluorine is minus I group, electron withdrawing group. And when you see in the D option, fluorine has there are 4 carbon atoms between fluorine and carboxylic acid. So the distance is greater in this D option. So when the distance is greater, intensity will be, so the intensity would be low. So the inductive effect of fluorine towards the carboxylic acid is very low compared to the option A, B and C. So the withdrawing nature of fluorine can be observed till 3 carbons. So up to 3 bonds you can see this withdrawing nature. It can't reach the carboxylic acid. And when you see here, it is withdrawing more strongly. So when it is withdrawing more strongly, stronger anion will be formed. When the stronger anion is forming, greater will be the acidic. Now the order of acidic strength will be, A has the greater acidic strength, then comes B, and then C, and last D. So this is the order. And how does this electron withdrawing group stabilizing this anion? So we'll see the molecule carboxylic acid with a electron withdrawing group. Consider it as halogen, and we'll also take carboxylic acid with a electron donating group, alkyl group. Now when this carboxylic acid is dissociating into anion and a proton, O minus and H plus. Now this has, suppose X is a fluorine. Oxygen has gained a negative charge due to the dissociation. Now due to the presence of electron withdrawing group here, minus I group, it withdraws this negative charge towards itself. The movement of these electrons will be towards the electron withdrawing group. So the negative charge is stabilized by movement of these electrons. And when you see it here, when this is forming, when this is dissociating into anion, okay, now the alkyl group is a electron donating group, plus I group. So the movement of electrons would be towards the, already oxygen is not stable by gaining the negative charge here, so it want to share electrons with the other atoms. But when the alkyl group is giving the electrons, more electrons towards the oxygen, it can't retain those electrons. So this is highly unstable. As the fluorine is sharing the load of electrons, this anion is stable and has the greater stability in the conjugate base. So that's why it forms the stronger acid. That's why it forms the stronger acid. Okay. Now we'll see one more example here. Now we'll see one more example where you can see two minus I groups. Two minus I groups which are different. And you have to determine the acidic strength. Option A will be fluorine ethanoic acid. Fluoroethanoic acid. Option A will be fluorine ethanoic acid. Option B is chloroethanoic acid. So we are changing only the halogens, but the electron withdrawing group is changing here. So fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and in the D option, iodine. So we have written the power of minus I groups in an order, where you can see fluorine has the higher intensity than chlorine, then comes a bromine, then comes iodine. So fluorine has the higher withdrawing nature, higher minus I effect. So this would show greater acidic strength. Greater acidic strength due to greater minus I effect. This has a more minus I effect compared to chlorine, bromine, and iodine. So then comes chlorine according to the order, and bromine, and in the last iodine. So the order of acidic strength will be, so the order of acidic strength will be, A has a greater acidic strength compared to B, then comes C, and then D. Okay. Now we'll do one more example. Try to do this along with me. CH3COOH and B ClCH2COOH and the COH CH2COOH. Okay. Now here methyl group, alkyl group has positive I effect. That means it has no acidic strength. And we'll see other options as well, so that we can write the order of acidic strength. And coming to the B option, chlorine is an electron withdrawing group, that is minus I effect. And when you come to the CH2 here, which is a positive I effect. So we can see both the positive and negative inductive effect here. So we'll see the third option as well. Here also we can see negative inductive effect and positive inductive effect. So as you can see in this both the options, as you can see in the both the option B and C, the positive inductive effect groups are same. Okay. And when you see the negative inductive effect groups, they are different, chlorine and OH group. Now the chlorine has greater minus I effect than OH group. When you see minus I effect and positive I effect in the same molecule, we have to consider the strength, which is dominating which one. So here minus I effect OH group has very less effect, very less withdrawing nature, that is very less minus I group, minus I effect. And when you see the CH2 group here, this has the greater positive effect, positive inductive effect. So positive inductive effect is dominating in this molecule. So positive is dominating here. And coming to the B, chlorine has a greater minus inductive effect. So the positive inductive effect over here, it can't cancel complete minus inductive effect. So you can see chlorine has a greater negative inductive effect. And you can also see positive inductive effect group is attached to the carboxylic acid. But this methyl group, this positive inductive effect group can't cancel the entire negative inductive effect. So there is some effect, there is some influence of negative effect on the carboxylic acid. So it shows some acidic strength. And when you see this molecule, this methyl group completely cancels the minus inductive effect. So this shows positive inductive effect. So the acidic strength would be, first definitely comes the B option where the acidic strength is high. And when you see A and C, both the molecules show positive inductive effect. But which has the greater positive inductive effect? So it has the complete, methyl group has the complete inductive effect. When coming to the C option, OH has cancelled some of the positive inductive effect here. So it has decreased to some extent compared to the A option. So C will be the next option. So C will have the greater acidic strength compared to the A, and then comes the A option. So this is the order of acidic strength in these three molecules. So by doing these examples, I think you are clear with the concept of determining acidic strength in carboxylic acids. Next we'll see the acidic strength in alcohols. So the same concept is applied to determine the acidity of alcohols. Electron withdrawing group is directly proportional to acidic strength. That means electron withdrawing group is stabilizing the dissociated anion. Electron withdrawing group is stabilizing the dissociated anion in alcohols as well. And the electron donating group is destabilizing the dissociated anion. Electron donating group is destabilizing the dissociated anion. So the acidic strength is inversely proportional to electron donating group. Okay, now we'll see few examples here. CH2OH with the chlorine, and then CH2OH with nitro. Now which is more acidic? Both the electron withdrawing groups are at the same position here. Now which electron withdrawing group has a greater power? Nitro has the high electron withdrawing nature compared to the chlorine atom. So this molecule has the greater acidic strength. And we'll see one more here, CH2OH Cl and CH2OH NO2. So here the groups are same. That means we are taking the same molecules, but in one compound the carbon chain has increased. One carbon has been increased in the carbon chain. So when you see, nitro has the greater electron withdrawing nature. This has a greater electron withdrawing nature. But we have also learned that when the carbon chain is increasing, that means the distance is increasing, the intensity of the minus I effect decreases. So here electron withdrawing group has, so in this molecule only one carbon atom is present between OH and chlorine atom. And when you see it here, two carbon atoms are present between NO2, that is electron withdrawing group, and OH. So in this example, this molecule has the greater acidity. Okay, I hope you are clear with this concept. And we'll do one more example, Br, CH2OH chlorine. Now both the electron withdrawing groups are at same position, but we have to see the intensity of minus I effect. We know the order of minus I effect. We know the order of minus I effect. Chlorine has the greater minus I effect compared to the bromine. So this molecule shows the greater acidity, greater acidic strength, greater acidic strength. Okay, this is the general formula ROH. When it is dissociating in water, it forms the conjugate base RO plus proton. So the acidity of alcohols depends upon the strength of this anion. So this anion is stabilized by the presence of electron withdrawing group. We have seen few examples. I feel these examples are enough to clear this concept of acidity in alcohols. And now we'll see the basicity of amines. So what is the basicity? Basicity is a tendency to donate pair of electrons. Okay. So the basic strength is determined by the stability of conjugate acid it has formed. Conjugate acid. Suppose we'll take NH3 here. Now NH3 is donating its lone pair of electrons to proton and forming NH4 plus. This is a conjugate acid. Now the stability of this conjugate acid determines the basicity of amines. Stronger the conjugate acid, greater will be the strength. Greater will be the strength of base. Okay. Now this conjugate acid is stabilized by presence of electron donating group. Electron donating group stabilizes conjugate acid. By stabilizing the conjugate acid, the basic strength has been increased. For example, we'll take amine, primary amine CH3NH2. Now the lone pair of electrons on nitrogen are donated to the proton, forming a conjugate acid CH3NH3 plus. Now this is a conjugate acid. Now this positive charge is stabilized by methyl group over here. Methyl group is a positive inductive effect group. It has a donating nature. Now it donates the electron towards the positively charged nitrogen atom, by which the conjugate complete molecule has been stabilized. Now this stabilization increases the basic strength. Okay. Now we'll see the basicity of these amines attached to different alkyl chains, different alkyl groups. Okay. We'll see with the methyl group. What are the amines formed with the methyl group? So what are the amines formed with this methyl group? R3N. So R is alkyl group here, methyl group here. So N has formed 3 bonds with 3 methyl groups, and then comes the R2NH. It has formed 2 bonds. Nitrogen has formed 2 bonds with the methyl group, and then RNH2, and then comes NH3. Now we'll see the acid. Now we'll see the basicity between these 4. We have learned that positive inductive effect increases the stability of base, increases the basic strength. So in this R3N there are 3 groups, 3 donating groups, and then R2NH there are two groups. In RNH2 there is only one group, and coming to NH3 there are 0 donating groups. So we have learned greater the plus I effect, greater will be the basic strength. But we'll see different trend in this. The highest basic strength will be in R2NH, and then comes RNH2, and then comes R3N, and at last NH3. This trend, this unexpected result is due to steric hindrance in R3N. Steric hindrance. Okay, here nitrogen is attached to all three methyl groups. So there is a steric effect involving. So this lone pair can't be donated very easily when compared to this molecule. This molecule donates very easily compared to this tertiary amine. So due to steric hindrance, the basicity has been decreased. And when you see R is changed to C2H5, that means one carbon has been increased. Carbon chain is increased. So the order of basicity here will be R2NH, and then comes RNH2, and then comes NH3. At last it will be R3N. So here the basicity of R3N has further decreased when compared to NH3, only because of increased carbon chain. So the increased carbon chain resulting the steric hindrance. So this is the trend. So this is the trend when alkyl group is C2H5, and when the alkyl group is isopropyl, that means CH3 twice attached to CH. In this, the order of basicity will be RNH2, and then comes NH3, and then R2NH, and then R3N. So here you can see even the R2NH has decreased its basicity than NH3. So now NH3 has a greater basicity than R2NH, completely due to steric hindrance, steric effect. And when alkyl group is further extended, isobutyl group is very much sterically hindered. So this is a large group. Compared to methyl group. So there will, when this is attached to nitrogen atom, there are two more carbon chains like this. Okay. Now, so there is a greater steric hindrance here. So nitrogen won't be able to donate the electrons. So the basic strength will be very poor. So the basic strength will be very poor. We'll see the order here. NH3 will have the greater basic strength compared to RNH2. So have you seen this? Even the RNH2 has the less basicity than NH3 due to the steric hindrance, due to large alkyl group attached to NH2 group, and then comes R2NH, and in the last R3N. So this is the order of basicity. Okay, so by this we can understand, even though the positive I groups are more, the basicity has been decreased due to the steric hindrance. You have to keep steric effect in your mind while determining this basic strength. Okay, we'll do one example here. So we'll take 4 options. Now withdrawing group is inversely proportional to basic strength. Okay. Now the first option in this example is NH3, and the second is CH3 NH2. Third is acetamide CH3 C double bond to NH. And the fourth option is you can see carbonyl group, keto groups here. You can see keto groups, one keto group in this example. Here you can see two keto groups. So by having two electron withdrawing groups, fourth option will have the least basicity. So fourth option has the least basicity. Then comes third option, which has one carbonyl group. So then comes the carbonyl. And when you see first and second option has a methyl group, that is plus I group. And in the NH3 molecule, there is no plus I group. So second option has the greater basicity. So the order will be 1 and 2. So this is the increasing order of basicity. This is the increasing order of basicity of these four molecules. Okay, I hope you have understood this concept of basicity and determining it using inductive effect. Now we'll see the stability of cation and anion and how we determine its stability using inductive effect. Okay, stability of cations and anions. So cation has positive charge and anion has negatively charged. So when does this charge get stabilized? We have to know this first. The positive or negative charge gets stabilized when there is less magnitude. When there is less magnitude. What does the less magnitude means? That means the positive, the charge, whether it is a positive or a negative, it has to be shared with the carbon chain. That means the movement of electrons has to take place so that the charge is by moving within the molecule. When the electrons are moved within the molecule, the magnitude of the charge over that atom gets decreased. When the magnitude is decreasing, the stability of the charge increases. So what we have to do is, we have to compare the stability of cation separately and the stability of anions is compared separately. We cannot compare cation and anion. So only the similar charged molecules can be compared. So comparing cations, there are two ways. When comparing cations, there are two ways. When you are comparing two molecules, both they have positive charge. Okay, both are cations. If the both molecules are same hybridized carbons, the hybridization is same in both the molecules. When the hybridization is same between the compared molecule, what you can do is compare the atoms. Compare the atoms attached to positively charged atom. Carbocation, this is carbocation. We can compare the atoms attached to it. That means we can compare the groups minus I group or positive I group. Okay. When there is a different hybridization between two molecules, when you see different hybridization, you can't compare them based on the groups attached. You have to compare them based on electron negativity. Okay. You compare them based on electron negativity. Okay. Remember this one, when the hybridization is same, we compare them based on the groups attached, that is plus group, plus inductive group and minus inductive group. Okay. And when the hybridization is different, you can compare them based on electron negativity. Okay. We'll compare the stability of carbocations. We'll compare the stability of carbocations here. We'll take an example. HCH2 positive methyl carbocation. This is methyl carbocation. And then comes primary carbocation, secondary carbocation, and tertiary carbocation. Now when you see hybridization is same for all the carbon atoms in these 4 molecules. Okay, here sp2, sp2, sp2 and sp2. So all the molecules have same hybridization over the carbocation. So how can we compare the stability of these carbocations? We'll looking at positive I groups, because the positive charge on this atom denotes that it has a lack of electrons. It is looking for the electrons. It is ready to accept electrons. So the electron donating groups on these molecules attached to this carbocation increases the stability of carbocation. Electron donating group increases carbocation. In methyl carbocation, you don't see any plus I group. And here in primary carbocation, you see one positive I group. And when you come to secondary carbocation, you see 2 plus I groups. And in the tertiary carbocation, you see 3 positive I groups. So to stabilize this one charge, to stabilize this one positive charge, there are 3 donating groups. These 3 donating groups are donating moving electrons towards the carbocation, thus towards the carbocation and stabilizing the molecule. So this molecule with tertiary carbocation has greater stability. Now the stability order will be according to the number of electron donating groups, that is positive I group. So the positive I group is increasing stability in carbocation. Remember this point. And when you see alkyl and vinyl carbocation, we'll take an example, CH3 CH2 positive and CH2 CH positive. So as you can see here, this carbon has a positive charge and it is sp2 hybridized. This carbon is also positively charged carbocation, and this is sp hybridized due to the pi bond. Now the hybridization is different. Hybridization is different in these 2 molecules. So how do you compare the stability between these two? Comparing the stability. So I have told you, we'll look at the electron negativity of carbocation. We'll look at the electron negativity. In the first video, in the very first video of GOC, we have learned sp carbon has greater electron negativity, then comes sp2 and then sp3. Now here sp carbocation has greater electron negativity and this has lesser electron negativity, sp2 has, comparing to sp, because here S character is 50% and here S character is 33.3%. Due to the greater percentage of S, the electron negativity is more for this carbocation. So you have to remember one point here. For maximum stability, positive charge should be on electropositive atom. Okay. And negative charge should be on electronegative atom. So electronegative atom can bear the negative charge on it, because it attracts the electron. So if there is a negative charge, it can bear it, but electron negative charge can't bear the positive charge on it, and electropositive atom also can't bear the negative charge on it. Now when you see between these two, this has lesser electron negativity, so this can bear the positive charge on it. So this carbocation is stable than this carbocation. This has a greater electron negativity. This can bear negative charge but not the positive charge. So alkyl carbocation has greater stability than vinyl carbocation. Okay, I'll write it here. Alkyl carbocation has greater stability than vinyl carbocation. Okay, then comes the stability of carbanion. Okay, the stability of carbanion is determined with the presence of, and the carbanion is with a carbon with a negative charge. Now this negative charge can be stabilized with the presence of electron withdrawing group. So when you see alkyl chain, now this has negative charge. When you see electron withdrawing group over here, this withdraws the electron towards itself. So the movement of this electrons towards the electron withdrawing group increases the stability of carbanion. The movement of electrons in the carbon chain is stabilizing this carbanion. Okay, we'll take an example here. Methyl carbanion, and then comes primary carbanion, secondary carbanion, okay, and tertiary carbanion. Here the hybridization is same for all these molecules. Hybridization is same, which is sp3. Okay, all the carbanion have sp3 hybridization. Now the point is, what is the order of stability of these carbanions? We have just now learned electron withdrawing group is increasing the stability of carbanion, but you see all the donating groups here. So here number of donating groups are 3. Here the number of donating groups are 2. Here the number of donating group is 1. Here it is 0. So with 0 number of donating groups, this carbanion will have the greater stability, and then methyl carbanion will have the greater stability compared to secondary. And this is the order now. This is the order of stability of carbanion. Okay, methyl carbanion, then comes primary, then comes the secondary, and then comes tertiary carbanion. Okay, so the presence of electron donating group destabilizing the carbanion. So destabilizing the carbanion. Okay, so now we'll see carbanion molecules. Now we'll see the carbanion molecules where the hybridization is different. So we'll consider the electron negativity value when the hybridization is same. So alkyl group, we are comparing alkyl, vinyl, and acetylenic. I'll write alkyl first, CH3, CH2, negative charge, and vinyl group CH2 double bond CH, and CH triple bond C minus. So the hybridization is different for all these carbons. Here the hybridization is sp3, this has sp2 hybridization, and this has sp hybridization. Now we can't determine the stability of this carbanions based on hybridization, because all three has different hybridization. Now we'll consider the electron negativity values. We know that sp has higher electron negativity compared to sp2, and then comes the sp3. So this has high electron negativity. And we have also learned higher electron negativity atom has the capability to hold that negative charge. Now this atom has the capability to hold the negative charge due to the high electron negativity value. And when coming to sp2, this has medium electron negative value, and coming to this has least electron negative, or else you can say electron positive nature. So due to the electron positivity, it can't hold this negative charge over it, so this will have the least stability. And higher electron, so this has higher electron negativity and capable of holding this negative charge, so this has the greater stability. So this is the order. Acetylenic is highly stable than vinyl, and this is further stable than alkyl. So this is the stability of carbanions when the hybridization is different. So this is the concept of inductive effect. In the next video, I will discuss about mesomeric effect and resonance. So in some books, mesomeric effect and resonance have given under the same heading, indicating that both are same, but there is a slight difference between these two. We'll discuss it in the next video. If you have any doubt regarding this concept, please comment down below. I will definitely clarify your doubt. If you have understood this concept, like this video and share it with your friends, and also subscribe if you haven't subscribed.